I'm really excited. Deb, what do you have to share with us about having the greatest show on earth?
The greatest show on earth. Well, here are our tips for the pre-show time, greeting your hosts and guests. Arriving on time, very important, because if you arrive late, you're totally just out of sorts. Some of us bring our ingredients and pre-prep them, so that might be something to consider. An incentive, perhaps a booking incentive. If you set your date, then I'll bring your ingredients, or you could even ask for the money back. It's up to you. It's very important to talk to your host before any people get there. And maybe we can even, in training new consultants, make a list of questions to ask to start small talk, like, how long have you lived here? Where do you work? And it's a perfect time to continue the recruiting discussion with them and say, we're going to get some bookings tonight. They can be yours, or whatever. Also, if you get there on time and can set up before the guests get there, okay. Before the guests get there, then you are ready to introduce yourself to the guests, so that because we often find that the host would introduce anyone who comes in to all the guests who are already there, and then they forget to introduce you. So you have to introduce yourself and ask questions and get to know them. And then you can remember their names. And even if you just think of 3 or 4 guests and remember their name and use it during the show, they're going to be super impressed that you remembered their name. And everyone will think that you remembered their name, even if you only remembered 3 or 4 of them. Some favorite show recipes are the 15-minute fajitas, the chicken bruschetta pasta, grilled chicken penne al fresco. For the holidays, 5 appetizers in 15 minutes. So we like main dishes, but we've also heard the caramel apple skillet for the fall is very popular as well. An easy second recipe would be a trifle, or make chips on the chip maker, or perhaps a skillet cake or a lava cake using your fluted pan, your deep covered baker, your rice cooker, or whatever. Some questions to engage the audience would be, what's the last Pampered Chef product you used in your kitchen? What Pampered Chef product would you recommend? These are great questions for when there's downtime, for when you have to keep slicing or chopping or go throw something in the microwave. Then I would say, who has a favorite Pampered Chef product that we haven't talked about yet? And then I say, okay, you tell them about this. And then I go throw it in the microwave or the oven or whatever. And always pass products around. A great way to do that is if you have to chop up some cooked chicken, put it in a bowl, put the salad choppers in there, and pass it around the room. That gets people engaged in using the products even if they're still sitting down. Some key points for opening and closing are always the 3. How can you get Pampered Chef in your life? Place an order, book a show, become a consultant. Those should be part of every opening and closing. But also be sure to market your personalized service, how you can help them, guarantee the added value you can give them, like the recipe collections for the deep covered baker or the brownie pan. You can also use the booking and recruiting slide on either side. And getting your guests to relate to you, some fun things, taglines, things like that. I think just showing interest, asking questions, and listening to them. And then when you listen, you can relate to them through what they say. Like if you overhear them talking about, something that you're involved in that you can relate to. And share about you and tell your story, but when you do that, you have to know your audience. So if it's a room full of senior citizens, you're not going to talk about how you started Pampered Chef when your son was 1.5 years old. They can't even relate to that. So, and just asking questions about, do they love to cook, hate to cook, have to cook, things like that. So those are some of our tips.
Thank you. All right.